So what's blooming in September in the garden? Let's go find out. All right, I want to start in this corner. Look at all the goodies. This is what you harvest in September. So even though one of my pear trees fell down, I had plenty of pears from another tree, which is self-pollinating, so I don't have to buy another pear if I don't want to. So these pears are great. We've been eating on them, and I've been freezing them in little bags. I cut them up, and then I freeze them in 1 cup bag, one cup of pears, and I put them in shakes. So that's what I've been doing. Whenever they fall, I wait till they're done. I put them on the counter, and then when they get soft, I freeze them, and then we have been having beautiful fruit shakes. So that is a harvest in September mostly. Most of these pears, and there's a few more, so we're having a good time with that. And then this was a harvest slightly earlier, but I get to enjoy this in September because I'm going to change out my decor in the house, and I get to share it with all these pumpkins that I got from my garden. So even though this isn't very many, and I did get some borers that got into the pumpkin vines, I still have enough to showcase, and they're hard as rock, so they will last until probably December, maybe even further. And these, I love the smaller ones because you get a lot more. I probably only had one or two branches to get these, so you could if you did 10 of them, you could have a whole bunch of these little pumpkins to put around your house. So that was a good harvest. And these are mostly later in the season. It depends on when you put your seeds out. And then the lavender. Oh my goodness, I love the lavender. And this was only 2 plants that I got, all these little crafts. So you can do a lot of crafts with lavender. You can braid lavender when they're soft. I just put them in little bundles, and I put them all over the house. I hung some, and then some I just sat down right on. I put it in some of my decorations, so that's really nice. And of course, I had plenty of roses to go around and have as a pretty for my tables. The roses kept blooming, and also all the zinnias, and there's a lot of flowers outside. So flowers in September, especially the roses, are coming back. So when I look at overall, this is a good harvest. I get to enjoy it in September. This is September now. I also enjoyed green beans in the summer and some snap peas earlier, strawberries pretty much all year, and they're coming back. So we'll see how many we can even see today. So let's get outside and see our harvest for what is blooming in September. All right, welcome to 50 Plus Home and Gardening. Look at what we have. I just cut back my geraniums, but they're annuals, and they will bloom all summer until frost. So they're a good September bet. And cilantro, which is flowering out now, is a little bit showy, but it's almost done. But look, these verbenas are beautiful showcase. I've already had to cut this back 3 times in these pots, but annuals are a good September, October, May through actually till frost. So annuals are a good bet. These are verbenas, and they have been a showstopper. Look at these. Oh yeah, they look great, and they got almost down to the end of the pot, and I had to cut it back 3 times, but wonderful. All right, from here, let's go down. This is the balcony, so let's see what is down here. Pinky Winky looks fab. This is a volunteer. These were up here on the deck, and they just dropped their seeds. So these are probably a black-eyed Susan or some sort of a small sunflower. They were just seeds that were left over. These are volunteers from some super petunias that I had last year, and they're a slightly different color, but look, they're everywhere, and that's great. Butterfly bush is a hit for September, still going strong and still feeding my butterflies. Look, by September, some of them will be blush. These are new blooms when they have new blooms. They're white, but they're kind of lacy. How pretty. And then here's brand new in September. So those will bud out white and they dry down to a blush pink. Then when they die back, they get more of a green brown. Still pretty though. So this plant was only probably, it was in a 4-inch pot, and it was probably no more than about 6 inches altogether. And in one season, it grew up to, I'd say, about 2.5 feet. And this is one season's worth of growth. I'm happy about Pinky Winky. Remember, this plant will get 9 feet. So make sure you have space for it. All right, here's the petunias from down here. Look how they look against that. Okay, those are the Autumn Joy. They look fantastic. Here are the Black-Eyed Susans. Volunteers. More volunteers. And they look really good. And they just kind of randomly planted themselves wherever they wanted, but they look really nice. And loving it. So annuals are a hit. Looks like my sensation honeysuckle. No blooms, so probably not quite as impressive in September. This is the butterfly bush. There was the balcony, and this is from down here. It's quite tall, maybe 10 feet, and I have cut it back quite a bit, and it's still going strong. It's a showcase in September. The butterflies love it. The bees love it. It's super large, so make sure if you get a butterfly bush, you count out how much space it needs. I mean, it's taken over this whole corner. That is a beautiful bush, but large. All right, what else is blooming? The beautiful crepe myrtles are still blooming in September. I did cut them back, but look at all the buds coming. There are buds everywhere on this plant. So it's going to have a new flush of blooms. Really pretty. Crepe myrtles are definitely a September bloomer. All right, come over here. We have more annuals in this pot. Vincas looks like are still going strong. Let's see if I can cut over here. All right, we have your Supertunia, Vista Bubblegum, Vista over here. Here's one right here. So those are just annuals. What else is blooming over here? If you do like it or don't, it is the Autumn Joy, and it is kind of a slight happy pink, but they kind of have this broccoli look, only they're starting to look pink now in September. So let's go down there and further look for anything blooming. I love this place. Look, now that I have these defined lines, I love, love, love how this is going. All right, let's look for some blooming. Well, the star, and I have had to pull out some. The Supertunia Vista Bubblegum is a star showcase. This little crepe myrtle still trying to do its thing, but it's kind of small. But look, there's still more buds. So it'll have buds for September. So I would say in this bed, definitely the Autumn Joy if you like that kind of look. It's sort of a light blush pink. Finally, they're getting a little bit of their pink, and they have these little heads like broccoli. Very nice. What do I have hidden in here? Those are African daisies, and they look really good in there. Look at that. Another one that's just going crazy. But I'm going to pull them all out because it's September, and I'm ready for some changes. And I want to divide in things in October. So this was a volunteer, and that looks really good. And I don't know why this phlox is blooming, but it's still blooming, and it's September, and that's fine. This is a spring blooming plant, and it creeps, but it's blooming. So it may bloom for you in September too. So let's see what's over here. This is from down below. Those are the Vincas from down below here. The Heuchera, looking wonderful. I think that would be a plus because it's not green, so it has some color. Wow, look at this. So all the coneflower are gone, and I cut them back. Those are all the Violet Riot from Proven Winners. They are still going strong. And you can see these are the coneflowers I did not cut back. So they're looking great. And look, I did cut these back once, so I have another flush in September. I think that's called Opening Act from Proven Winners. That is the bright pink. And then there's another one, and that is called Polka Dot from Proven Winners. Those are both phloxes. Those are more like what I call summer phloxes. They grow a little taller. And if you cut them back once, you'll get another flush in the later in the season. But then look, the salvia, the Violet Riot, they still are going strong, and there's a lot more on them. So those are good. And there is a few coneflowers. Look at those. A few yellow ones still hanging on. I've cut back this coneflower, which was pink, and so they're not really a September show, more of an August show, but your annuals, you guys, pretty much the winner. Boom Chocolata. Look at that. The Boom Chocolata is loving itself, and it's gotten pretty large, and look at all the little blooms it has on it. I love it. It's a little dark in this corner, so I think I'm going to add some lime. This is a very dark leaf thing, and it's in the shade, but it'll probably take over this whole corner, and that's fine. So that is a good one. Boom Chocolata is a geranium, and it will get pretty wide. It's a perennial, so it'll keep coming back. You can just cut it back and it'll just keep growing. All right, what else is in bloom? Your Liriope. Now, these are smaller plants, so they only have one each, but when they get larger, they're going to be fantastic. So they get these purple little blooms on them, and they look so pretty. And bees, butterflies, they love sitting on them and getting nectar. So they're not even open yet, but those are a star. So Liriope is a great one for September. And look, more phlox that's blooming, which is a spring bloomer, but who knows, maybe it cooled down enough. So I wouldn't count that one, but definitely the Liriope is blooming its head off in September. Oh my, look at all the blooms here. Okay, this is fantastic. More annuals, verbenas. I think that's the cobalt blue, and there is one geranium in there blooming. And this one is more Supertunia. I've got, those are basil. We've got a dark one and a regular green. And let's see, how much water did I get? Okay, almost 1 inch. That's good. Pour that out. We did have a lot of rain. That's good. All right, the parsley is doing well. Not really a bloomer, but look at that. The Veronicas will probably do a second bloom if you cut it back. So you can see how it has a bunch of little blooms, and it'll keep growing if you cut it back a little bit in about September, because it gets cooler. Okay, the roses are starting to come back. This is the Emily Bronte. And so the smells are going to start being in the air. Beautiful. A few more roses, looking nice. And this variety is a miniature that I just got from Lowe's. But it is a star showstopper if you want to have miniature roses. They are probably a little bit more promising. This is a shrub rose, which does have a lot of blooms in September. Look at that. This is Italian Ice from Proven Winners. Oh, look at that. So I have 3 of them, and they're going to town. But I really do like the miniature roses. They're pretty much a shower. Some of these larger roses are not as showy, but they're still going to give you blooms when it gets a little cooler, which September is. And then, of course, you're going to get still a few strawberries. Look. Strawberries are coming back because it's a little cooler. We did get a lot of them during the summer, but now, look, we're going to get another flush of them. See that? Okay, so those are wonderful in the garden. I've got a bunch of strawberries coming again, and look, I got some more Liriopes, and they have their little flower buds for September. More annuals, the Mandalabella, looking still gorgeous in September. So I would definitely say, of course, those are annuals. The geraniums. They look beautiful. These are the ones that I had in the basement, looking really wonderful. More Mandelavilla. So I definitely count those. Look at these. These are geraniums, bright red, and then some of the African daisies. The purple and the red look really fantastic. Look at that. Beautiful. All right, there's some more coneflower. They're looking fantastic. They still have a few buds coming up on them, so I would definitely say coneflower are definitely August to September, sometimes July, August, September. That's a good start. But look at this. Whoa. So this whole row that we just got from Divides, or we divided them, look at those all the way around, are fantastic. They're probably up to my waist, and they have this pink blush. Really, really pretty. The Red Hot Pokers are not as fantastic right now, but I think the showcase is, if you like this look, I think this is a great September, because now they're kind of blushing to a pink, and they, like I said, they have sort of a broccoli head, kind of a different form in your garden compared to anything that is more like iris. I think they look fantastic. So those are a winner. I would say Autumn Joy Sedum, absolutely September. All right, last but not least, this is my Williamsburg garden, and oh my, get zinnias. Look at the lemon lime coral sedum. They look great. They're very limey if you want that contrast. But the zinnias, I really like the smaller zinnias. These are only supposed to be 6 inches, but of course they're 10 inches. So don't be fooled if they say 2.5, expect, oh, these are probably 4 feet. And they only said 3 feet. They're too tall for my Williamsburg garden, but I'm gonna let them grow for just a little bit. And I think these 4 beds, this bed, and the ones beyond, I'm going to take out so I can start doing a design, because these beds are just too small. Look, I can't even get through. I'm blocked by my center, pretty much the side, and this side. That can't be, because this is just way too small. But I'm going to run right through it. Okay, I don't like getting attacked by flowers. So, all right, so we're here. On the top part, this also has a triangle garden that's not quite finished. And I'm going to take out all the flowers here and all the flowers here. But the zinnias, you guys, get zinnias. And the supertunias, still growing strong. And this is our new water feature. It's just a bird bath that we got from a local garden center. So pretty. I love the Williamsburg pineapple on the top. Goes in my Williamsburg garden. And when I'm done here, I will put gravel around here, and then I will finish up this herringbone style all the way to the fence line. It's gonna look beautiful. Oh, and I haven't finished this little lane, so this little lane will go down here, and the other one will go down here, and this will be done. So pretty to look at. A beautiful garden. But those are your top blooming that I have in my garden in September, if you want to write those down. So keep moving, keep gardening, and stay creative. And I'll see you next time.